Hey guys, welcome to another Bricklaying vlog on the Gables. I'm outside in this early morning. Got the pool filter going. It's Sunday. It's a good morning. Sleep on the best. But today, in this vlog, we're going to be talking about just like bricklayers being disillusioned with price work. Not so much me, but the general site atmosphere in this recession. You know, I talked about recession price work last video. I'm going to go into a little bit more detail on why bricklayers feel this way, and you know, a little bit more general. I'll talk a little bit about Connie Bricks towards the end as well. I've got a 2-part voiceover also. So yeah, check it out, check the pool out. I've had this about a year or two now, but I always wished I had one of these as a kid. And begged my parents, but this is why generational. This is why we have kids of our own one day and do things that we never got. Need to make that fence higher because I ain't showing you the fucking abomination behind my house. Right, see you in the next video, in the next clip.
Hey guys, Harry here. Back with another Bricklaying vlog. This is part 2 on the garage gables. I think in this video that you're watching right now, it was the end of part 1. So at part 1 I started these gables on this garage, and then in this video I finish. You see the end of the day, see what we got done in the day in the first one, and then I start another one in this video also. So even though that's why it's called garage gables, meaning multiple, I've done 4 in total in this little mini series. Leave us a comment if you enjoy the build. So I specify in the brackets at the end in the title of what build it is, how many parts, what part you're into, so you can sort of see what over the space of a couple of days or over the space of a week or a few days, depending on how long the build is, how much we get done. When the work picks up and I finally grace my trowel on a house, on a cavity, I can show you how I go on over the space of a lift. Because, for instance, when we were building those Gleeson houses a couple of years ago on the channel, I think it must have been a couple of years ago now, those lifts were a particularly small house, and I remember us able to do a lift in probably like 4 days, depending on the size, depending on what plot type, whether it was square or not, depending on weather and whatnot. So I would like to show you, that's one thing I think I'd like to show you my take on how I keep cavities clean and how I do houses now with this new standard, because I'd build a house a lot differently to what I have in previous videos, you know. And over the last couple of years, when you saw me on houses, I've done brickwork first, blockwork first, I've left coring holes out, etc. There's this big push now with leaf blowers. I'll go into a bit of detail in these next couple of voiceovers, because I'm going to do these. I've got a new way I'm going to do the voiceovers also. I'm going to do them in little parts within a video, so I keep the quality of the voiceover, because I've heard a lot of I read the comments. I read all the comments. That's why I put a little heart and a thumbs up next to every comment I've read, whether I like the comment or not, or whether I like put a love heart there, regardless of what it says, just to acknowledge I've read it. And you know, I listen to the comments. There's a lot of it, you know, you get a lot of hate, but you also can get, you know, some constructive feedback. I got a comment about these corners. I'm going to get into it in the voiceovers, but you might see my voice change a little bit because it'll cut from different time points that I'll do the voiceover. But yeah, so I've got a stone wall to do next week. I only worked a couple of days this week, got something in at least, but there is a lot of guys out of work at the moment. We've hit like a real dead patch with, especially in Yorkshire, we've hit a real dead patch with building. There's a lot of anticipation after this election, what's going on, but there is a lot of work going to start. It's going to pick up. It's inevitable. We go through cycles, boom bust, slow down, speed up. There's been periods in recent memory that I can remember. It even just goes slow it can go slow for just 2 or 3 months, and then suddenly, there's a lot more work. But yeah. So when it comes to houses and cavities, the standards are getting excessive. There's no, this is something I wanted to say. It really has opened my eyes, and even to just sort of, you've got to sort of simplify your thinking a little bit when it comes to this. But in the housing game at the moment, since there's just a decreased amount of houses needing to be built, bricklayers out of work, which gives, the subby or management or the site, they can be more picky with who they have on the site, who they have building their houses. It is no longer satisfactory to make a good job of your face work. To just make neat face work, neat, tidy, plumb face work is no longer good enough. At the moment, whether this video ages well or it ages terribly because the whole building situation changes. But for instance, on this garage top out, they will no longer just look if your face work is plumb, your perps are neat, it's jointed well. They'll no longer just look at the back of the garage and say, back of the garage, it's pointed, it's brushed, it's alright. They'll look at your cuts, they'll look at any jointing that has been missed, that is hard to reach, any little pinholes, this and that. Anything that you can find wrong with a particular piece of masonry, a particular piece of brickwork, will be scrutinised and will be however trivial, however silly it may be at the moment. The house builder or the subcontractor or whatever can be that picky that you will feel, even if you've done a good job, you will feel like you have not done a good job, or you'll be done to me to feel like you haven't done a good job. Unfortunately, that is what happens when a trade compresses, condensers. There's not as much work, contracts, shall I say. That is just, and this is what I want to say for a lot of bricklayers. I know a lot of guys have been getting disillusioned at the moment, get fed up with the situation, but don't get fed up. Be confident in your own ability. Be confident, and the price is also not your confidence. When you start earning less because the rates are less, you're confident, you think you're worth less when you're not. It's just a consequence of the economy, and it isn't a reflection on you as a bricklayer. That's one thing I like to emphasise. People at the moment will be like, your cavity is this, you ain't got full joints, and you can see I've been building these corners full joints, and I always make sure my joints are full regardless pick and dip or whatever. But there is too many nitpicking, just nonsensical hate speech in the bricklaying world at the moment, and too many people comparing cavities. And at the end of the day, the face work of brickwork, the face work of bricklaying, where bricklaying really started, was can you make a neat job and an artistic impression of your masonry? Can you make a true pleasing to the eye piece of masonry? Can someone buy an house, stand back and say, that looks neat, that looks nice? And that is where it all started. The old saying, pleasing to the eye. A bricklayer who I learnt off as a 16-year-old whippersnapper, used to use them terms. It's a bit of a joke now. They all go, oh, pleasing to the eye, it means you're rough. No, but when it comes down to it on a basic level, you've just got to stand back from your brickwork and make a pleasing, a nice looking job. You need to make a nice looking job, and to make a nice looking job, it's got to be plumb, it's got to be gauged, it's got to be level, it's got to have been jointed nice, it's got to have nice consistent 10mm joints from beds to perps. And now we're too busy wondering if the top of the brick's full, the top of the brick is flushed up, or there's a pinhole, or out of a whole gable there could be 2 pinholes, and that will almost be like that's a bad piece of work. Or if the mortar's cleaned off the truss, or your tie wires have been polished, or your tie wire spacings are into the 10mm. There's a massive what word can I use? There's a massive sort of lost in translation approach now from, I don't know whether it's an HBC or the memo for these house builders. What's the updated plan of attack? But we're losing what it means to build a nice house. You know what I mean? We're focusing so hard on, we're sort of overanalyzing and focusing so hard on the things that don't actually affect the final product, and we're just we're driving people away from the trade at the moment. I was on a site this week just for a brief period where they had bricklayers on the books, and they're on, I don't know, £17 an hour. I forgot what they told me because it was that loud and I'm deaf. They said something, and or £15 an hour. It might be like 120 a shift or something like that. And the brickwork was neat, but they were just, there were guys hardly doing anything. There were guys putting up, they were doing probably neat work, but they were hardly producing any, sort of volume. And I was looking around the work, and it just looked the same as the price work bricklayers across the road. There was price work bricklayers at one side, and guys on day work, tight, very low level day work. And at the end of the day, you can only be so neat. You can put, and at the end of the day, skill's skill. So if you're skilled and you're working on volume, working on price, or you're skilled or you're working on day work, the only thing that you're doing is putting less effort in. Really, you can only put so much effort into being neat to where you don't produce any volume, you don't do anything. So for these house builds, at the end of the day, it's all about profit. That's the only thing it's about. That's why they don't pay these particular, say day work bricklayers. That's why they're not paying them £250 a day, because they're not producing the volume that's worth £250 a day. They're paying them half of that, and at the end of the day, that's why they're paying them half of that, because it's about profit. It's not because they want the fucking neatest, bespoke brickwork. It's just all about profit. So we're sort of scrutinising at the moment. The house builder and HBC are scrutinising the house builder of a tiny, basically irrelevant detail, to then want massive gang sizes to push program and get produce high levels of volume that will indirectly reduce quality. Because I shit you not, I like watching A&D. I think he's got a very interesting spin on the brickwork game, being a subby and being on YouTube. Very, very brave. But it's a business, it's promoting his business. But at the end of the day, I don't believe that a gang of 4 or 5 men, or even half of the time 3 to 6 men, can even consistently make a good wage keeping quality. Because I know how hard it is to make a good wage, and you see what speed I go at. I make a good job. I have to, a lot of the time, stand back after I've done my work, go around and get a little pat snag myself to make sure it's up to standard, because Kyle forget little bits, and I have to double check stuff. I have to be organised, and I have to be not giving away any percentage points in efficiency to be able to make a wage. And I don't believe half the time, with the way sites are set up, that even a 3 or 4 gang can make a good day work wage on what they want, on what little details and extra little jobs that need to go into an house. I think it's just a big bluff. I think it's a bluff for the house builders to encourage these big gang sizes. I see so many gangs, I've said it before in videos, and I'll say it again. So many gangs are just run so inefficiently. There's an extra man in the gang that's needed just to please the house builder, just to say, look, there's three high-visors there on that scaffold. One's basically creating nothing. One's just a wage that's being took off the other gang members. You know, like a diluting the gang, say a concentrated gang of two efficient bricklayers, loading out on the days with rain or fucking frost or downtime with forks, getting in front, loading out like they used to back in the old days when we were on 30 pence a brick. 2 bricklayers, and then as soon as the gear's there, as soon as they've got everything, both smashing it in. That's an efficient, concentrated gang. Now you've got, you know, a lacklustre labourer a lot of the time who isn't in front on plots because there isn't plots to go at. You know, 2 bricklayers not going at the speed to warrant a labourer, because sometimes, you know, you can be slow enough where you don't actually need to have a labourer because you're not quick enough to produce the volume for a labourer to keep you going. So I'll not go into too much detail on this on this right now because I've got to go to park run, but I think it's a bluff. I think it's a bluff of the house builder. It's a bluff to keep your wages down. It's a bluff to have more people in a gang to do these more menial tasks, like fucking clean your cavities, to where you've hoovered them, basically, to rake under the scaffold, to go around doing extra nonsensical pieces of, you know, a build. You know, stuff is just that is just completely over the top and doesn't affect the final product. And they're doing all this, and they're still not looking at your face work, and still not looking if you're producing quality, picturesque masonry. So that's my little take on it. Well, I've built this little corner here, or big corner. You know, take from it what you will, but you know, that's my view, and I can see it. I can see it from coming from starting when you weren't earning. You know, if 2 gangs weren't put 2 bricklayers in a gang weren't putting 500 or 600, 700 bricks down in a day with a labourer, they weren't making a crust of bread on 30 pence a brick, because at 30 pence a brick, it's 300 a thou. If you're not laying 600 brick, you're not getting near that 200 quid mark in a day. And if you've got a labourer, you know, you're taking a little bit of that, each of that wage, giving it to a labourer. And I know there's bricklayers not doing that now. There's tons of gangs not doing that, because a gang that is producing like 1,200 bricks, 1,300 bricks between them is getting through a lot of work. Stuff just magically goes up, and you can see it. There's gangs not doing that now, and that's why gangs aren't making money, and that's why, you know, this is what I mean about these efficient gangs. I see it every day, and the more people get aware of it, you know, the trade can shift in a direction where you don't see these stupid gang sizes rushing the quality. Connie bricks also can't be done in big gang sizes. Right, thanks for I'll see you in the next voiceover clip later on in this video. Thanks for tuning in so far. Give the video a like if you enjoy it. Subscribe. Keep up to date, and see you in the next clip. So we're finished. It's 5 to 4. I didn't start laying till 10:30, so I think I've done this 2 hours quicker than I did the last one a couple of months ago when I filmed doing one of these. Yeah, check it out. Yeah, check it out. There you go. All cuts were already here this time. There you go. We didn't have any blocks on site, so I couldn't put the pillars up a few. I need to go above the roof. I'm not taking them to fucking top anymore. But yeah, all done. Yeah, so yeah, I ain't about the same as labourer today. But it is what it is. It is what it is sometimes. I think we're 500 brick in that. We've got about 500 a thou on them. It's fucking low on these. Fucking shit. I get him on this 7 years ago on garages, but it's what it is, you know. 50p a fucking brick. But yeah, I'll hopefully get these fucking. I've got one more of these to do tomorrow. Should get off early, and then yeah, one-on-one antics. All right, see you in the next one. So yeah, 4:10 now. My car got tools back in. So yeah, worth about 250 quid that. Rest at garage, bottom at garage, you know, first lift at garage is worth a lot better. It's like, sure, it's about 1,400 quid or something, and I can do that. I could do one of them to pan if I stand on an op-up, 2.5 days. So that's where your money is. But unfortunately, sometimes for fucking hell, what have I earned today? 130 odd quid at best. So I'll get there a bit earlier tomorrow. Didn't get there till 9:30 today, so I have one thing and another. I think I swallowed a wasp and all. Wasp. I swallowed a wasp. Fuck knows. But yeah, been a fucking hard shit day today. Well, it's how it is, you know. I started on price. I think we get 34 pence a brick, 340 a thou when I first started with labourer. Labourer on 65 a shift, and 70 a shift, I think, 65 a shift, something like that. It were, and it's hard fucking going. It's hard going one-on-one antics, but you can always make something at least. Because I were earning probably, back then I was probably earning about 120 or 130 a shift. Maybe sometimes 150 on a good day, you know, that back bottom of the recession. Before it started getting good again, and we're now a sort of full circle. So, one full circle from since I started to now. So yeah, it can only get better, unfortunately. So we've got another one to do. The garage top out, one-on-one antics part, probably 3 at this point, probably 4. But yeah, I'll show you how we're going to do some big corners on these, because basically a lot of time is lost leveling, doing cuts. So if you knock a big corner up, you run, do it in 2 hits. It's about rhythm, repetition, and getting it so you know every step what you're going to do. So yeah, check it out. It didn't really make a lot of sense, that, but you'll see. Right.
Hey guys, part 2, a voiceover part 2. First part, you know, I said in the beginning I was going to talk about Connie Bricks a little bit, but I ended up talking about disillusioned price workers and bricklayers. Bricklaying, the general consensus in the bricklaying game at the moment, the atmosphere on site. Sorry, I sort of go off tangents with these voiceovers, but I know some people want to see some time lapse. So I got a time lapse of a corner at the end of the video. This is real time speed. I've got a comment also the other day about, you know, you speed your videos up. I don't. I make a point not to, just to show the real world, you know, genuine look of how quick you got to lay to make money. If it's, you know, there's a big sort of resurgence of, and this is what happened, you know, last time, you know, superstructure game went a bit crap or the prices got dropped. Everyone sort of retreats to building footings, you know. There's a few guys on Instagram making videos about footings and whatnot, and banging on like, you know, footings are the place to make money, which they are in a sense, but they're a bit of like a short-term solution to bricklaying. They're short-term. They have a lot of wear and tear on your body, and I'm all about longevity in this game. I don't like footings personally because I can't lay as quick below my knee and down low like you see me. I can't lay as quick as I can at waist, and at waist to head. You know, waist to head I lay quicker than I do, you know, knee to foot. You get my meaning? So that's a big reason I don't do footings. But, you know, I'll get comments saying you don't know what you're doing with footings, but, you know, all it is service holes, being able to use a laser level, and awkward pieces of gear to lay, you know, and beat a mountain goat, basically, as Collison would say. The footings he does are pretty much unique to where he works, because I haven't seen him to that level, even now, you know, and basically footings in the middle of summer are fantastic. If you're on a flat run, like you see a lot of Charlie's doing, but even he'll say, you know, admittedly, the slop you have to deal with in winter, which I've dealt with when I've done footings in winter, is fucking horrendous. It's just, it kills your time struggling to get to where you need to lay, you know. That's why I like doing supers. I am pretty much a garage and wall specialist at this point, because I've done that many, even though I can build houses as fast as anyone and keep my cavities clean. I've just done more of this sort of work as a one-on-one. You know, the subbies I've been working for have kept me going. There's been a lot of guys left, a lot of guys out of work. There's the subbies I've worked for in the past. don't have much work is ironic, really. You know, I you know I am that sort of person to moan though. You know, because I make these videos, I'm very like, you know, open with how I feel about things. You know, I'll moan if I think, you know, a piece of work's difficult or whatnot, or it's not priced as good as it should. You know, I should really keep my mouth shut more. But this is why I do the YouTube thing. I fucking, you know, I can't switch it off. Do you get what I mean? I can't switch off. You know, I'll moan. You know, us as bricklayers, this is the same old adage I suffer from. You always compare every week to your best week. You compare why I earn 2.5, $3 grand, you know, compared to my best week. You get what I mean? And like, say on this day I earned 130 quid after paying Kai. I'm comparing it to the day I earned 800 quid. Do you get what I mean? So when I did the One Man Gang series, when I was building that band lift on my own, and how I see it is that was like 2 years ago, and I just think I don't like to see things go backwards, and I like that upwards progression. I like that scale. You know, and I always think I'm always bettering myself. I think, you know, I'm faster now, I'm neater now, I'm better now. Why isn't the portrayed, you know, why aren't we getting paid more, this and that? It's all on rates, all on the what work you're doing, and I'm constantly in that fucking getting, you know, in that sort of psychological battle in my mind, going, yeah, it should be better, and that's what I sort of, you know, I vent to some of these, you know, supervisors now and again, where or, you know, whoever I'm working for, I'll say, you know, it's no good, no good, so. But yeah, this lift, I think it was left by another gang or whatever when they left, so I ended up squaring this garage up and doing this top out. So I'm keeping in work, not earning much. You know, I've been having days off, which historically I haven't really had any time off if you were a normal person. It's just myself doesn't have any time off due to cost of living crisis, due to solo income, house buying, and just... I do struggle to do, you know, I do like to have things, I do like, you know, so the intro, I do like to strive for things that, you know, I couldn't have ever imagined myself living at home past like 22 or whatever. I moved out like 20, well, I technically moved out when I was like a teenager, fucking flitting about from parent to parent, but I can't ever, I don't know if there's a bit of a generational thing at the moment, like loads of people stay with their parents up until the 30s. Fuck me, I was constantly arguing with my parents even as a fucking early teenager. I couldn't imagine having to spend any more of my teenage years at home. Like, as soon as I was like 20, I wanted to fucking move out, so I'll be 30 next year, so I'll be 7 years in Tony and Elm or something like that. But it's hard nowadays with the rent prices and fucking, you know, just the cost of things, you know, cost of your car insurance. I've run 2 cars, it's dear. I've got fucking like just 250 quid in insurances, car 250 or 300 pound a month. You know, I've paid one off, but that's through not having any time off for like, God, I got serious probably like 3 years before YouTube, so I've been like working dead hard for like 7 years. I haven't had any time off. I ain't gone out of the country on holiday since I was 20, so that's like 9 years. You know, I don't take breaks, I don't take days off, but this is sort of what this economy's forced us to do. You know, if you want to make anything for yourself now, you've got to literally be almost a fucking slave, you've got to work like, if you want to make something from nothing, you've got to literally like just not stop working. It's like, it's what this consumerism is about. It's shit. It's not good. Obviously, I talk, you know, as I said in the first part of the voiceover, you know, it's all about profits, and this is what doesn't make sense with the house builder doing what they're doing. You know, they're trying to get a neater job. They're trying to drive down trying to promote bigger gang sizes, fast program builds to increase profits, but in turn demoralize the bricklayer into earning less, because if you just put too many men on a piece of work, it just fucks it up. You don't earn anything. You're trying to knock the confidence of the bricklayer by picking fault with stuff, and then they're using this substandard material like Connie bricks. So obviously you see me here like these Connie bricks. I got a question as well. I want to talk a little bit more about them, but yeah. So yeah, before I got into Connie bricks, yeah, I basically haven't really had any time off.
like, I'm just one of them people who just fills the time with work. You know, I'm not uncommon in that. A lot of bricklayers do that. It's either they fucking work or nothing. You know, but I've not really had that much time off in retrospect. But I don't like working weekends. I don't work weekends at all. So, and yeah, I think anyway, I got off topic a little bit there, but you know, I think I was on about footings as well. So some guys on YouTube, I think on Instagram, making videos on footings. You know, if you like doing footings and you know how to do them, and your back doesn't hurt, and you've got, you know, you're able to make, you know, people talk about £300 or £400 a day on footings, like, it's fucking sort of amazing work, you know. It's amazing earning. Look at fucking, you know, I suppose if you're just not as experienced, I suppose that's, you know, that's a good wage anyway, but I think Collison earns double that on footings, so there's too many people who could earn like fucking hell, have earned 1,500 quid and think they're amazing, you know. At the end of the day, everyone would think they're amazing on the best week, but no one earns that every week, not all. So anyway, I'm gonna get on to what I was talking about, Connie Bricks. So hi ho, right. Connie Bricks, you know, they don't go off. Top and bottom, that's the problem. They sink. You can't lay them as quick. They weigh 2.5 times the weight of a normal brick. So you can't move your hands as quick with them. Your arms get tired and fatigued more. That's what I go on about with the little trowel. You want to keep your hands fresh, and that fatigue really slows down your momentum building, slows down your flow. So that's why I was building the big corners. Hopefully when I got to the top of the big corner, the bottom has started going off, it won't pull my corner over, because otherwise I would have built like a 3 or 4 high corner, basically the length of my 2 foot level, and then ran it in. It'd be quicker. I used to do this somewhat similar with this little yellow level. I used to just build a 6-course corner and run it in on garages. Obviously now I use profiles because I'm quick, a little bit quicker, but if I didn't have my profiles, or I couldn't get my profiles on for some reason, I used to just build a little 6-course corner at each side of a garage and run it in, and then I'd tail my corner out like 6 bricks or whatever, like 3 bricks, rack it up, run it in again. I'd just keep tailing out, I'd just keep doing little tail outs at a time and run it in. Or I'd used to do like another little 3 to 6-course corner at the other side of the garage, then run the back in, stuff like that. And I like to do the same on like fascia soffit gables sometimes if I'm working solo. But yeah, the reason in this video I was doing the big corners, just test my self speed. I want to enter the Super Trial next year. I'll be at this year's Super Trial, so I don't know. I think I'll be on my own going. Alice ain't going, obviously. Fucking, but you know, it is a bit daunting to me knowing I'm going to go somewhere and look at bricklaying for 8 hours. But I work 8 hours on the site, so I don't know why. I think it's weird going to look at it in my quote unquote spare time, and I think that's why they put it on a Thursday as well. So you didn't feel like you were losing your weekend looking at bricklaying. But it's going to be interesting to see how fast people are. I'm going to just see how it all is, you know. I want to meet a few people. I don't particularly talk to anyone outside of an odd personal, you know, an odd DM on Insta. So it's going to be interesting seeing everyone, seeing how people are in person, because I'm a bit, you know, on YouTube I do censor the way I speak a little bit, if you get my meaning. Basically in person I F and Jeff and say stuff that, you know, you can't really say on YouTube. I have to really highly edit what I say, because, you know, I'd just get instantly banned if, you know, with just my way I speak, you know. So it'd be nice to talk to people and just talk to people, you know, without knowing I'm being recorded, if you get what I mean. Just chat, you know, and just see what people, you know, like from the YouTube to the, you know, because a lot of people use the YouTube as a business platform. You're not going to, if you want potential new clients, you don't fucking say your thoughts out loud to your whole business audience, you know what I mean? And so I think that's a bit more, I do bring a more personal vlog style to this channel because it's into business. I don't advertise work on here. I'm not to say I won't advertise for, or, you know, put, you know, this is my company, inquire for, you know, builds here and there, you know, in the future. you know, my partner or fiance or whatever, Mel, she's a little bit of a more business minded. She has set up a website for her own little business before, or cottage business. That she was going to start. Obviously, that all went to pot around the time she came working with me and the situation with our lad. But that's why I'm hitting Gary doing this voiceover. But she's got a little bit of a business mind to her, and she's got a little prospect that she wants to set up with me when it comes to, you know, my price working and acquiring my own little bits of work here and there. Because, you know, I have done little bits in the past, and I've enjoyed doing my little private bits and bobs. I just struggle with the business mind of things, pricing. I tend to underprice myself a lot. I tend to sort of make things sort of not worth my while. But I do for this little subby, I do little bits of day work here and there that I have to, you know, tell them what I want to do, how much I want for doing it. And I've got a little bit better idea with price work now after like 10 years of price work on sites. I can price stuff a lot easier because I've done a lot of mixing gobo by hand or mixing stuff in a mixer. I know roughly how long it takes me to put a mix in. I know roughly how long it takes me to acquire a material or drive around to get materials, but it's not something I like. I aspire to sort of work entirely for myself. It's just because it's efficiency and a time management thing for me. I could end up, you know, I know how long it takes building these, you know, making these videos and putting these out there, and how much time I spend on it, and how much time I could waste trying to acquire my own work, to the payoff benefits. People will say, oh, but you'll earn more money. Yeah, I could on a set day, but then I have to add up all the time it took me setting up my website, setting up payment options. Like when I last met her little page and set up and she spent hours and hours setting up just payment just like ways of paying and stuff like that. And there's a lot of options now, you can do all sorts, but I will be looking into that in the future with a bit of guidance from our lass, because she's more ruthless than I am. I don't, you know, I tell her about things and she gives me like almost guidance on how to approach things. You know, I'm just not that way on. I struggle to make those decisions a lot of the time, but it's something I'll be doing a little bit more. I'd like to get my own little builds going, because I have had offers for work, you know, in the past, and I've just turned it down because I was like, I don't want the stress of it. I have enough going on, but I will be doing little builds in the future. Probably not full extensions or anything that has serious overheads to it. I'll be always taking money up front, but little walls and whatnot, and little like day builds that I don't really have to take much effort, if you get my meaning. Like small jobs I'll take on a little bit more. And I'm interested in my tools, so I do want to buy more tools and use more tools as well, you know, and utilize the way I go about things, because there's one thing to sort of have just Joe Schmo, who's just been doing extensions for 5 years, plodding away on getting his like pound a brick rate or whatever he's priced in, and doing his, or just a lot of guys even price an extension at day work rate. You know, they get like a builder, there'll be like a general builder, and he'll try get a bricklayer in on like a set day rate and try and get some old boy to do it for like 150 a shift or something stupid. I'll pay 120 cash, and you know. But I'd like to show you a serious like seasoned price workers view on doing little privates as well. So, but it's coming up in the future. That I'm not. Nothing's ever concrete with me at the moment. I just go with the flow, and I never try and make any plans, because I know that they'll change, and I just try and take the path of least resistance. And yeah, so I'll put a little bit of music on I don't need to put any music on for this last little bit. This is a time lapse, but I'll put a little time lapse on for this last little bit, and then I hope you've enjoyed this little video about Connie Bricks, price work, the state of bricklaying. Hope you enjoyed it. See you in the next video.